thank you for all that you do for us, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to meet. We pray, Lord, that we might look to you for guidance to do the things that are right. We are walking in uncharted territory to us, Lord, but we know that you are well aware of our situation and what we should do. We pray, Lord, that we might seek your guidance in all that we do. It might be in keeping with thy will. And we pray, Lord, for this person, whoever or wherever, that has contacted this infectious disease, that you might be able to comfort them and their families, Lord. Help us, Lord, to do things that are right in thy sight. All we ask in thy Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call a meeting to order. Assume everybody in the room knows why we're here. We've got one confirmed case in Marion County. Myself and the attorney and EMA director and probate judge went over a lot of stuff yesterday evening, and I'm gonna this time turn it over to the attorney and let him explain what we've come up with, or what he's come up with.
Chairman, I guess a couple of purposes for the meeting today is the county commission by resolution is to issue the declaration of emergency conditions, which invokes the Emergency Management Act of 1955. That gives the county commission and Mr. Terrell the authority to work with our municipalities to provide whatever assistance may be needed in this case. The example we were talking about yesterday was in a circumstance, for instance, where a municipality may have a couple of guys out sick that maybe run garbage or pick up solid waste. Could we help them out in those circumstances? Basically, just whatever way the county commission can work with our municipalities in this time. The second thing that we have is the resolution with our personnel, instructing them on what we're going to be doing and how we're going to handle that, and how we're going to handle our facilities. The main thing is we're going to close all of our facilities to public access. The sheriff has got control over the jail, and he's going to handle that aspect of what needs to be done and how that needs to be done with certain rights they have to maintain. But all other facilities are closed for public access. The engineer's office has the means of using the drive-through as well, but our probate office, our revenue commissioner office, they will be closed to the public until such time as we get further order from the state or direction. But that'll be in place for 2 weeks. With their personnel, it's basically we're going to still be working. We're going to try to be mindful of the orders and the advice coming from the Centers for Disease Control on how to slow the pandemic, and be mindful of those aspects, and also giving the authority for the appointing authorities, basically Mike, Paige, Barbara, Sheriff, y'all to temperature test employees as well if there's any conditions, and to give our employees instructions on what they need to do in case they are sick or they come in contact with someone that may be sick. Those are the 2 resolutions.
One thing that I've noticed, what little I've been over at the courthouse this week, Judge Burke has just come in. All court proceedings are on hold. He may want to emphasize a little on that. But that seemed to be the biggest amount of people that were coming to the door when I was down there the other day. And
court system's been doing this since Monday.
yeah, we know that. I mean, the public didn't, but
Yeah.
that's, in other words, what I'm saying is what Judge Burton, if you owe a fine or whatever, you're not going to be picked up because of it. Everything's put on hold as of right now to April the 16th, Judge.
Through April the 16th.
Okay.
What is considered public facilities?
In our case, it's basically our buildings that we own, the courthouse annex, the solid Waste Department, the engineer's office, the airport, and the sheriff's office at the jail, and the EMA office.
In other words, not grocery stores, that's, even though they're open to the public, this is not our public.
That's
Not what-
exactly right, yes, sir. We're talking,
County-owned facility.
we're talking about
County-owned facility.
county-owned facilities, and your relative shops as well.
What about our, storm shelters? You know, we got some weather coming in next week.
Yes, sir. That's in there as well. They are open to the public in the case of needed, and we instruct everyone to still be mindful of the Centers for Disease Control orders and try to be mindful of that as best as possible. But it's one of those, what's your more immediate concern? If we've got a tornado coming, let's get in a storm shelter. You know, it's some common sense factors there, but we're not gonna be limiting anybody coming into the storm shelter in cases of a natural emergency.
He'll have control over the
Yes, sir.
storm shelter.
Yes, sir.
Usual.
Yes, sir.
And in, Barbara's case, all March tags right now are extended through April 15th.
Right. Any kind of, if you bought a vehicle, you have 20 days to buy a tag. If that 20 days falls between March the 17th and April 15th, that's all been extended also. Any kind of deadline dates that fall between March 17th and April 15th, that's all is extended.
At what point in time will this cease? No, April 15th, will we have to meet again and push it? Do we have to wait 14 days after the last case? Or what's the?
No, so the way the resolution is going to read is, for the personnel policies, it's a week. For the facilities, it's 2 weeks. If y'all want to meet anytime before then to change it, we can, but it's going to remain in place for 2 weeks. And then if y'all don't do anything, it will remain in place until y'all do something further. But I think at this point in time, we're going to be looking at the state and the federal government as far as their direction on what we need to do. Governor Ivey, as you know, has issued multiple orders this week through the State Department of Health and through herself, limiting public contact and, you know, basically closing down a lot of businesses. So it's rapidly changing. And so I suspect within that time frame between now and the middle of April, we will get further orders as well. But right now, I think everything's on about a 2-week basis.
More or less from this point forward, we're just gonna follow what the state does.
Follow their guidance for sure. Yes, sir.
Question, guy. Courthouse officially closed to the public. What about the employees? You requiring them to work?
Yes,
In the
all
office.
departments will be open.
Just to lock the doors, no public in it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna clarify that.
Yes. They will be there if anybody needs to call about a tag problem.
Right.
Anybody need to approach judges, Miss Page, I know will be more than happy to work with them any way she can. She made that statement yesterday evening.
We also have deadlines on property tax that's here, but all that's put on hold and extended also, so.
And I think I seen something last night where the government has even extended deadline on filing your income tax till
July.
July, so.
Mhm.
Not that we have anything to do with that, but they're looking for it to be longer than
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Scott, are you aware of what opportunities our public has because of these actions going, these things going into action as far as unemployment, as far as small business loans for people that are affected by this? Do we have any guidelines on that so far?
They're coming out. My very basic understanding is the governor has extended certain benefits under the unemployment laws. Our federal government in recent act that was passed this week, small business loan opportunities. I'm still getting information on that as well. And they passed the paid sick, Employee Paid Sick Leave Act as well, which gives employees certain benefits under that act. Trying the best from a governmental standpoint to assist those that are being affected by the layoff, either by sickness or a family member. So there's a handful of those things. That's all coming out basically this week. So hopefully next week we'll start getting a little bit more guidance on what all we need to do. Now we're working with NACOG to try to get some of that information out so that we can dispense it to the public.
But our two-way, our garbage, our road crews, our sheriff's force will still be on
Yes, sir. And I think
certain restrictions of jail.
I think that's one very important thing to let be known is we have wonderful county employees. They're here to serve this county, and as best as they possibly can at this time, we're going to be able to, to do that, especially in the areas where there's not, a lot of public contact, like the solid waste department. That's those guys are still extremely important, picking up waste, or sheriff and our deputies that are out there on the street, and our local law enforcement officers. We're still going to be out there serving the public as best as we can right now. It's just that personal, face-to-face contact we're basically having to limit right now.
And I think everybody's done aware of the sheriff's, what sheriff's done at the jail, nobody's allowed in the jail.
We started Monday morning.
Yes, sir.
Addressing that issue and the problems, the general public. Only ones coming into jail this week has been walk-ins that we get sometimes that need a report or need a copy report or something like that. I can change that immediately. Basically no one else has been to jail except for a few inmates, and we screen our inmates that's been coming in, that's being brought in now. We've been doing that all week. The judge and I have been on the phone quite a bit talking about letting some out, and we've done that too, or he's done that. So we're down to about 120, which is great for us.
Yeah.
Well, so far we haven't had any issues at the county jail. No visitation. No, they can still visitate from video visitation from there to the home way, which is if they have a computer, they can still visit at home. They just can't do it from the jail. What I want to know when Eric and I's talk, what is our goal and what is our mission? Where are we trying to get to? Our goal is just to protect citizens of Marion County. That's number one. But how do we get there? What's next? Because we don't know. This is unprecedented water for all of us. We have one case in Marion County where we all know that. I feel like it's going to go higher eventually. So what do we do next?
It's changing. When Mike Shaw walked in the door a while ago, he said this paper that we discussed yesterday was no good by the time we got home. I mean, everything had changed from the time we left yesterday evening until we got home.
And I think, Sheriff, you've highlighted it. We know what the goal is. It's how do we implement it? And the thing is, all we can do is keep relying upon the experts to try to advise us as what to do and how to handle it. I hope this is the only case we'll have in Marion County. I think we're fairly confident as more testing comes along that there'll be others. Hopefully the ones that we have will be very mild cases. It's extremely rare for them to be serious, and hopefully we'll keep it in the mild category. But I think all we can do right now is strongly encourage everyone as best as we possibly can to limit contact with each other, wash your hands, do not touch your face. Those are all, as I don't have a voice, all the very basic things that we can do with each other, and we have to follow those strictly. Don't go out unless you have to, and just be very mindful of your personal space and what you may do to limit contact with others and limit the virus. The only way it can get in our systems is through our mouths. And so keep contact away from your mouth and keep contact away from others as best as we can.
That's something I didn't understand, Scott. The only way, you can't breathe it in, it has to come through your mouth, correct?
It comes in, through your breathing system.
Breathe the mouth and nose.
Yeah, and they get into your lungs, and so, but the hand to the mouth is like
Yeah.
a very
It-
classic way of
yeah.
getting it. But, that's how we prevent it. That's why those regular masks aren't that good, because they're so open. But,
Scott, what obligation does the person that has this, has contracted this disease this time, is it, self-quarantine, mandatory quarantine, to keep their responsibility, what do they have to do?
if they get a confirmed positive, they will be mandatorily quarantined by the State Department of Public Health. And the State Department of Public Health, and Eric can probably talk about this a little bit more detail, but they do the investigation and they start gathering contact issues and who all it has been. But if I get confirmed that I have the COVID-19 virus, I will be mandatorily quarantined for up to 14 days.
And who will control that?
The State Department of Public Health,
So
and then
they'll handle that.
and
with
these guys,
security.
and these guys will have enforce it. Law enforcement has the authority to enforce that.
Mr. Bob, I talked to Elizabeth Foster, she's our rep for this region. The case that we have in Marion County will be notified today or tomorrow. They'll bring the quarantine packet with them and they'll present it to them. She's gonna contact me and Kevin before she does anything in Marion County. So all that stuff will be run through us
Proper channels.
to support them, but they'll be presenting the packet to them, and then they'll also be relying on Kevin to help enforce it. And they're shorthanded just like everybody else, so, you know, if this thing continues to grow like it possibly could,
Yeah.
then, you know, we'll be leaning more and more on us.
So there's over 100 cases in Alabama
Yes, sir.
reported.
That was one of the main things about this proclamation y'all were doing. They were having that conversation with one of our municipalities this morning. It puts Eric as that point of contact for the county. And one of the main reasons for that is, you know, so we don't have a bunch of mixed messages, but it's also to benefit the State Department of Public Health. They don't need 20 people from one county contacting them about the same issue. We got, you know, one person from a local government standpoint in this county that's responsible for handling that. And that needs to be Eric. And he can get that information out. But that's as much to help us as it is to help them as well, because they've got a lot going on right now.
Another thing, we're gonna have to be flexible as this starts progressing. There's multiple people processing those tests right now. The positive that we have in the county was done through a private lab. So that information doesn't necessarily flow back through ADPH like it should sometimes. So we may have some positives pop up that kind of blindsides us a little bit. They're working to try to resolve that, but, you know, this weekend, we very well could have some more pop up that nobody was expecting. So if y'all have something that somebody reports to you that there's been a case and it didn't come through me, it's possible that that's true, but it's not official until ADPH notifies us.
One thing we discussed yesterday, is about if we have a problem where we need to contact people. I've been in contact with Chris Cook, superintendent at Winfield School. I think Scott's been in contact with Ms. West. The school systems will put it through their phone systems, where everybody that's got a child in school will be notified. I will get with the Winfield radio station. Dale can get with Huddy up here, whatever, but we will get it out to the public as quick as possible. Anything that needs to be known like that, I mean, you know,
Yes, sir.
we'll keep the public informed as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. And obviously 49 County News.
Yeah. Damn lame.
paper, not so much. Thank you.
We'll let you know, you just a weekly time. I guess at this time, Scott, if there's no more questions, we need to have a vote on.
Yes, sir. The vote on the declaration of emergency conditions, I guess do it first.
We need a doctor.
Yeah, I think he's gonna explain it.
Yeah, that's just the, it's basically the 1955 State Passed an Act, which gives local authorities the ability to declare emergencies, usually whenever the state does. We typically have done it in natural disasters. This is a worldwide pandemic. It's completely different than we've ever done. But all it does is it authorizes the chairman with Eric as director of the EMA to work with our local municipalities to assist them, assist the public any way that we can without having to go through all the formalities that we typically would do. One of the classic examples is like the bid law. There's certain things we don't have to, go through that if we have to make an emergency purchase. So this would give us the authority to invoke the Emergency Management Act and the powers that come from that. And we've also asked for each of the municipalities in the county to go along with it as well. With each of the cities, yeah, I don't know how I said it, but each of the municipalities in the county to go along with it as well.
I'll make a motion, we accept this resolution.
Second. All in favor?
And the second one is the resolution circulating our personnel about the provisions that are coming into place. One of the main things is we're adopting the Emergency Paid Sick Leave Act, which was passed this week, and we are removing temporarily the requirement that an employee that's sick has to have a doctor's excuse if they're sick. If typically if they're out for a certain period of time, an employee has to present a doctor's excuse due to the overwhelming nature of this issue with our local healthcare providers. We're limiting that. If somebody's got a standard cold, they don't have to give us a doctor's excuse if they're out for a couple of days. And then the other thing is that we're closing the facilities of the county commission.
The first two are just more or less we're following the state guidelines that they have just passed.
Exactly.
Scott, does the town, will they meet on this to have, for our town participation, or the county cover the cities in it? In other words, they'll be under.
We're gonna cover each of the cities regardless if they meet and adopt this or not. That's what we're gonna do here, and that's one of the things we're doing here. But there's really no detriment to a city for going in on this with the county. Now, Winfield has already accepted their own emergency proclamation. Basically, this is what we're doing here for the city of Winfield. But basically, what this is doing is saying we're here to help you guys. Whatever way we can do it, let us know.
But what I'm questioning, who will have, will supersede each other if we have cases inside the city limits, or they still have the authority to quarantine and act over the county, city, or?
Yes, sir.
Or act together?
Yes, sir. For instance, the Emergency Act gives local governments the authority to enact a curfew. Let's say the town of Brilliant, no offense, Perry, but if the town of Brilliant has a confirmed case, the town of Brilliant determines, we're going to enact a curfew at 9 o'clock. And so the town of Brilliant has the authority to enact a curfew at 9 o'clock. That doesn't mean that y'all have to do it for the county. It may be a very limited circumstance. But y'all can enact a curfew for the county if you like. But typically, we're going to leave that up to each of the municipalities if they want to do something like that. We're not going to try to overstep whatever they may want to do.
motion to pass this resolution?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? You have anything else, Scott?
No, sir.
This time, I'd just like to thank everybody that showed up today, thank all the county employees for their hard work. The public pleased this work of the sheriff's department, probate judge's office, circuit clerk, everybody. Sanitation workers, they're in a bad situation all the time, but right now they're really in a bad situation. If you have a garbage can, please put your garbage in a garbage can. If not, double bag it. If you have somebody in your house that's takes insulin shots or using needles for anything, put them in a drink bottle with a cap on it before you put them in the garbage. We don't need any sanitation workers getting sticks, and we've had a few in the past. Would everybody just please use a little common sense and pray to the good Lord. Anybody else?
Need to adjourn?
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/49 County News TV.